The counting rooms of the Dutch West India Company took the whole of the first floor of a red brick warehouse built along the East River on the southernmost flank of Manhattan Island. The 8th day of October, 1663. Outside, a premature snowfall. In the crowded, noisy, tobacco-fogged counting-room quarters, merchants inspected the goods, the shipping barrels, and one another. Beneath the din of voices, a musical ringing of coins and hollow clink of wampum, pleasing to all ears. Everywhere were stacked colanders and kettles, pins and vinegar, blankets and Bibles and toys. The warehouse, like the colony itself, skewed heavily male, a realm of pipe-sucking traders, profane sail captains, and percentage-minded excise officials. But among the Dutch, profit was a promiscuous god, welcoming all supplicants, and in the counting-rooms that fall day worked a scattering of she-merchants. One among them, a woman of 22 years, directed a young female assistant in the procedures of trade. "When you fold, straightened edges go together," Blandine van Couvering said, watching her apprentice struggle with a length of duffel. The girl, 15 years old, called Miep, was the youngest daughter of the Fredericks family. Karsten Fredericks van Jeveren wanted Miep to learn commerce, to become a she-merchant like Blandine van Couvering. Blandine herself had no need of a protégé, but she did have use for Karsten Fredericks' patronage, so she took the slow learner on. Miep displayed the refolded duffel to her mentor. "Good," Blandine said. "Now place it in the stack of others and put the stack in— well, we have all sorts of cooperage, don't we? Which would you choose?" The girl took the pile of duffel lengths and stuffed them roughly into a small cask. Fine. Not the barrel Blandine would have selected, and a bit messy, but let it go. She couldn't continue correcting Miep the whole day. "You're next, madam," a phlegmy male voice said behind her. Blandine turned to face the West India Company's ancient tax inspector, Chas Pembick. The man wore a pair of the new Italian eye spectacles. He possessed himself of all the latest luxuries, a benefit of being the gatekeeper for the colony's imported goods. "You are?" he said. Blandine hid a pained smile. Pembick's question stung. She thought of herself as a rising young trader of the colony, but the old fish pretended not to remember her. She stared at the ocular device affixed to the man's face. Charming, the blush in her cheeks, the inspector thought. But was that insolence in her expression? He tried again. "Your name?" "Blandine van Couvering, Mr. Pembick," Blandine said. "As you well know," she thought. She thrust out her hand, a challenge to genteel tradition which held that ladies never shook, but a business practice Blandine had lately adopted. Pembick took her hand unwillingly, limply releasing it. He ignored young Miep, who curtsied. Blandine presented her bill of lading. Peering through his newfangled lenses, Pembick soberly inspected the document, comparing its list of goods with the jumble spread around Blandine. Company agents had marked off the counting-room floor in squares with quicklime. Blandine's bundles, firkins, and barrels filled her square, spilling over the line. Pembick nudged a stray cask back inside the border with his foot. "This barrel?" he said. "Let's start there." "Duffel cloth," she said, "from Antwerp." "Better not to shut the tons before inspection," Pembick said. Blandine pried open the top and displayed the contents, thick wool cloth, folded to better fit the container. "I have a smaller cask of duffel there," she said. The inspector nodded and went on, taking off the items one by one. 2 pony barrels of molasses, brass thimbles 1 score, 12 long knives, 12 jackknives." "Sheffield Barlows, sire," Blandine said. "Good," Pembick said, popping open one of the English-made blades. "The river Indians like these." But there it had been again. That sire of the girls had been pronounced with a faint air of condescension, of parody. Little Miss Snippy. He would level her an extra guilder in excise for that. Pembick clambered over the goods to reach the back of Blandine's marked-off square, tap, tap, tapping with his excise rod.